You probably have one question when you first hear the word macro on Roblox Bee Swarm Simulator, and that is, how efficient are macros? And that's what we're going to explain. So hello everybody, my name is William, and welcome back to another Roblox Bee Swarm Simulator video, where today we are going to talk about everybody's favorite thing, macros. I'm back on the bee game because it's almost Beesmas, and I want to get into the game again so I can, have some fun with the Bee Swarm Simulator. By the way, I do make non-Bee Swarm Simulator videos, so if you'd like to check those out, go ahead. I will have them on my channel page, so be sure to check those out, subscribe, like the video, and support the channel. Thank you. I am now uploading only every week instead of every 3 days. Enough messing around, time to talk about the first part of this. What in the world is a macro? Macros are a recorded set playback of keystrokes on your keyboard, which is pretty much like when you press a button, that's a keystroke. It's a recorded repetition of that. So it's like on loop. Like, let's say I walk upwards. Walking upwards, walk to the right, walk down, walk to the left, walk back up. I just did a whole loop, right? And if I was using a macro and recording that, and I pressed play on the macro, it would constantly go in that exact pattern. Essentially, it is a recording, a ghost recording of your computer keys being pressed. Oftentimes, macros are already pre-made, like there are bug runs, there are field macros, there are macros for all sorts of things, and I can explain that later in this video. But first, why should you macro? Well, I think it's simple, because macros are incredibly efficient for gathering materials, honey, or anything else, such as, even questing. See my polar power? I did not get all 1,787. 1,787 is now considered baby numbers, because people have been macroing quests for so long now. Macroing can put you ahead of the competition, macro can help you get to items quicker, macro can literally fly you up the leaderboards, as you can see here. Personally, myself, I've been bug run macroing because bug run macroing will get you materials. That will help you prepare for big updates, such as Beesmas. And let's say you want to get polar power because you are absolutely broke on polar power and you have no time to quest. Well, macros pop in out of nowhere and they do the quest for you. What I mean by that is, see this black bear quest? Get 200 million pollen from the mushroom field? Usually, that would take a painstaking amount of time, right? That would suck, having to do this all day, constantly, or well, until you finish this quest, which for me, as a blue hive, that would be all day. Why do that when you could just have a machine that does it for you, and then it turns in the black bear quest and gets you another one, and then does that quest as well, and then gives it back to him, and then does that quest, and then that quest, and then that quest, and you get a bunch of materials. Bucko and Riley Bee macros are in development. No, actually, in fact, they're done. I've been using a Riley Bee macro to catch up on my Riley Bee quest because I have not grinded those at all. How in the world do you get a macro? Or a macro software, that is, actually. The most used macro software at the moment, well, there's two now. It's JitBit and AutoHotkey. Currently, I have a video on how to get JitBit on screen now. There will be a card in the top right-hand corner, but don't click it just yet! Stay and watch this video because you are going to need to hear the next parts of this, because otherwise you're going to have no idea how to use it. There are two different types of macros. There is the bug run macro, there is the field macro, and I guess there technically is the third macro, which is the quest macro. But oftentimes in the bug run macro, a quest macro is already implemented into it, if that makes any sense at all. Anyway, so a bug run macro is incredibly simple. It is literally just, you run through all these fields. See, there's 33 seconds left to my ladybug. Where's a living bug I must destroy? Not here either. Hello? There we go. Okay. So a bug run macro will run through every single field, defeating every single bug in the game. And you can even have one that defeats bosses for you, like Tunnel Bear, King Beetle. There's some that do Coconut Crab, in fact. And now a field macro is a macro that farms in a direct exact field. It doesn't do anything else but gather and convert from one singular field. I like to use personally the pine tree macro, as I am a blue hive and that's where I make the most honey, right here in this wonderful field filled with pine trees and werewolves. Oh, look at that. I got a ticket and a glue. So my field macro will continuously grind out this field right here until my bag is full, or until 15 minutes past, and it will hurry its butt back to the hive, right here, and it will convert. It will make honey, and then once it's done with that, it's going to jump back over to the red cannon over here, hop back into the pine tree forest, and do it all again. And you can do this with literally any field you want. You can do this to get fruits and treats. Well, why did I call them fruits? Just treats in general, like sunflower seeds, strawberry, pineapple, blueberry, things like that. You can get all those treats really easily just by farming in specific fields. Now, to answer the question that we had at the beginning of this video, how effective are macros? To sum it up lightly, macros are incredibly effective and more effective than actually playing the game. Because if you actually just play the game and you don't macro, you're going to fall behind really quickly on materials, honey, things like that. But if you do macro and you play the game, like let's say playing the game would be considered boosting or specific quest lines, if you do macroing and playing the game a little bit, you can gather so many materials, so much honey, so much pollen. You can literally make your gameplay so much more enhanced just by utilizing macros. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you all found it helpful. Do not forget to leave a like and subscribe. I upload every single week. And be sure to check out my non-Bee Swarm Simulator content, because I do post some of that as well. That's just, you know, the fun stuff. So if you'd like to support me and check that out, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye!